Hey there guys, welcome back to part 2 of roughing in my commercial fire alarm system I'm installing in my house. In the last video, I roughed in the full basement and got all the basement pretty much ready to get hooked into a panel and hooked up to devices. If you haven't seen what I'm doing, I'll give you a brief rundown, but if not, I don't want to keep doing this on every video, taking up more time. But a brief rundown is I'm installing a Notifier NFS 320C addressable fire alarm system in my house, and I am putting in smoke detectors, heat detectors, couple pull stations, annunciator, and low frequency sounders in the corridors, and I am running Class B SLC isolated for each floor, and running Class B NACs, and first floor is now all done and roughed in, and I'm now working on the second floor. Since we already did the first floor, I will only go over a device list on the second floor. This is a look at the second floor. The scale may not be perfect, though it's pretty close. What are we looking at here? All of the red circles are smoke detectors. Blue square is sounder strobe. Green square is pull station. And black square is annunciator. So that is the end goal on the second floor. Alrighty guys, with that out of the way, let's start working. But I gotta be somewhat efficient here tonight, because right now the attic is down to 32 degrees Celsius, which is still hot, but it's better than it was. We're at a hot spot in the summertime, and the attic is regularly getting up to 50 degrees Celsius every single day, which is too hot for my liking, and I don't want to work in that. So I got to work somewhat quickly, because tonight it's going to be 32 degrees, and I'm thinking maybe I can ventilate it a little bit cooler, but other than that, it's going to be even hotter than it was today for all the days going forward. Anyways, guys, today's video, our scope of work is going to be running NAC and SLC up to the second floor and installing smoke detector in the stairwell, in the corridor, and in all 3 of the bedrooms, and installing 2 locations for conventional high temperature heat detectors in the attic and the modern module in the hallway for those devices, as well as a low frequency sounder in the hallway that will be on the NAC circuit. Okay, so I'm starting off in this room here, where this is our attic access. I've got this fan right here. I'm not sure if I'm better to be blowing air up or pulling it out, because right now I'm pulling the hot attic air out into the house, which is fine because the house is air conditioned. But it's like, should I be doing that, or should I be pushing cold air from the house into the attic, forcing it out? I'm not sure. Alright, I'm up here in the attic now, so I'll give a brief rundown on what is needing to happen here. Still fairly hot in here, probably 28 degrees, still a little warmer than I like, but it's better than the 50 it was earlier. This thing is to the max and then some. Well, first of all, there's a few things we can't do. Number one, this isn't right. We shouldn't run our fire alarm cable like whoever did this. You're not supposed to have it stapled to the top of the joists if the area is more than 1 meter tall in the attic. This area is more than 1 meter tall in the attic, so you're not supposed to staple it to the top of the joists like that where it's not protected. Over there, you see where that Lumex is stapled to the top of the joist. That's okay, it's not over 1 meter tall there, so that they're allowed to do. Why all this installation's piled up right here, I don't know. I should probably spread it around someday. As you see, there's spots like that without any. So someday I will do that. So where's everything going to come up from? This is the end of the house over top of the furnace room where the panel is, and that's where we will bring our SLC up from. Once I make my way down here, this area in here is about where it is. It's probably about center of the house. So some point over here is where the SLC will in fact come up from. We can drill a hole down through that, just like that Lumex there, and drill a hole through the top plate of the first floor, and we should be able to send a fish stick down here and meet up. So spinning around from here, let's see where our first devices will be, because it's actually nothing in this first area of the house at this end over here, because this is all kitchen, living room. It's all one big open space, and we don't want anything in the kitchen. Since we're not doing many pull stations other than the one at the front door, there's no reason to have anything at this end of the house. So because this is my house and I somewhat know what I'm looking at, I know that these 2 boxes here are the island lights. Those are over top of the island, so I can tell you, well, that's probably one of the kitchen cans right there, is it? Yeah, can there. You can see a hump in the insulation. Can there. So yeah, and there's your exhaust fan from the stove. So that means our first devices won't really be until about this point of the house onwards, which is important because we need to run enough wire to go all the way from here to our first device and down to the panel. So it's going to be a long run, because right here in the hallway, it looks like there's a can right here. Yep, that would be our first hallway can. There's probably a smoke alarm box here too. I think that's probably, yeah, that would be our smoke alarm box right there. So we won't be putting our first smoke detector until after this can. I'm gonna put it right there in the hallway because I want to move it down from the kitchen a little bit, and because we're moving it further from the kitchen, it's kind of getting closer from our living area and main space over here. But I'm gonna be putting one inside of the stairwell. However, I know there's a box in the stairwell where the chandelier is currently hung, so I can look for that, which I'm guessing it's probably around here. I don't think that's it. I think that's probably just a receptacle. This might be it over here though. Okay, what do we got here? That looks more like it, so we'll probably, yeah, I think that's it. So we'll have a smoke detector that's right there. Smoke detector probably right around here. So we'll have a smoky right there. Smoky after that can right there in the hallway, which will align it with the cans, which is easy. Make sure it's center of the hallway, which, because this is the hallway here, I can see this is the top plate of the hallway, which is easy because this is where I will drop down to our sounder strobe in the hallway. So I'll need to drop down sounder strobe there, which is easy to measure off the light so you know you're in the right stud spacing. Sounder strobe there, and I will also drop our monitor module down there. Sorry if I'm out of breath, it's hot. Because I am going to install a monitor module, then that's what will monitor the heat detectors in here. Because we're gonna space the heat detectors out evenly in here. They can each cover a 30 foot wide circle or a 15-foot radius, which the house is 26 feet wide, so we're covered that because it can do 30 feet. And the house is, I believe, 42 feet long, I think I measured. So we'll space those out evenly. We'll measure that up and do the math on that. The reason I'm doing a monitor module is because I'm installing conventional heat detectors, conventional high temp heat detectors. They're still going to offer a rate of rise, but they're going to be high temp. Instead of activating at 57 degrees Celsius, which I believe is 135 degrees Fahrenheit, they will activate at 90 degrees Celsius, and I think that's around 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the reason for that is we don't want false alarms. As even today, which was only about 26 degrees Celsius outside, it got to 50 in the attic here. So on days it gets to 40 degrees Celsius outside, boy, it could be well over 60 up here, which would be beyond the activation point of those detectors. NFPA calls for 20 degrees over ambient, and the ambient up here could easily get to 60, I bet. So that's why we're going with 90 degrees Celsius heat detectors, so to make sure we're well over that ambient heat up here and we don't have problems with false alarms. Why am I doing conventional instead of addressable, you may ask? Well, in a space like this, which is somewhat of a harsh environment where it gets really hot in the summer and really cold in the winter, because we are above the insulation. Insulation's down here. This can be, like, it won't ever really be because insulation is not perfect, but it hypothetically can be the same temperature as outside. So winter, it gets negative 20 outside, it might be negative 20 in here, it could get damp in here. It's more of a harsh condition, and that's why we want conventional, because you can't beat conventional when it comes to reliability. Electronics are just more unreliable when it comes to harsh conditions like that. So that's why I'd rather put a monitor module down here. Moving on from here, I need to put a smoke detector in each bedroom. Where is each bedroom right now? Not 100% sure, but we will find it. That is probably my bathroom light there. We can assume it's going to be somewhere, yeah, I think it's right around here where we would want to go. And then we have another bedroom in that back corner, which that one will suck to get to, but we'll do it. And then we have this bedroom here. So that should be all of the devices for upstairs pretty well. So this is the wall towards the one end of the attic where I'll need to bring my SLC and NAC up through that top plate. Here is this living room area and the stairwell, so I'll have a device in the stairwell. And then this is all kitchen space. We'll have a device in this area. I spec'd it between these two cans right here because I don't really like this location. It's a little close to the kitchen, which I understand having it to protect this living room space, but since we'll be adding one here in the stairwell and it's all open, if we add one up here, I think that'll be all good. So I'd rather have it closer to the bedrooms and center it between these two cans here. And then in this bedroom here, I will need to add one in this bedroom and then one in this bedroom. I'll put them all in the same spot, just kind of outside of the doorway. And then obviously this, which could potentially be a bedroom, but it's being used as an office right now. Actually, there's a bunch of guinea pigs living in here. But yeah, this room will get one anyways because it's made to be a bedroom. Horn strobes, I think I will put it right here. I think would be a nice spot, either this side or that side. I think I'll do this side and I'll mount the monitor module somewhere close to it as well. That sucked, I just had to crawl down to that end. And I just measured down in the furnace room how far off that exterior wall I want to be over top of my fire alarm panel. It's 115 inches, which I just marked and measured 115 inches right here. So not exactly sure where that lands me as far as between studs, but yeah, hopefully it's something good. Just measured down below once again, and I actually want to be a little bit past 115. I believe I'd rather be right about here. And this drill bit I'm running is quite excessively large, yes, but I'd rather have a little bit more visibility. And this old wood is tough stuff, holy crap. I'm gonna move this piece of insulation out of here. Should put it. Okay, so I think this is the spot to drill right here. Think was the key word here. Now this is an exterior wall. Okay, after about an hour of trying, I have the fish stick down here. I actually lost my long drill bit up there. It broke off in the ceiling because I was going to try and use that, so that sucks. Now as far as this goes, I need to pull up this guy here. I got one of these is a 5 conductor, which will be for the SLC. I only need 3 of the conductors, but 2 can be spares for anything else in the future. Say something needs 24 volt steady power, anything like that. And then I have another 51 feet of the 14.3, so 18.5 and 14.3, around 60 feet-ish of each should be enough to pull up on that pull string there, and I will pull string with it. Okay, I've got both of these on here and a pull string. These are both tied off to this condensate drain here. I know it's nothing that sturdy, but it should be enough so I know to stop pulling once I pull this up to the attic. Okay, I think that may be all of our wire pulled up here, which should be enough to run whatever way we go about doing it to get it ran down to that end of the attic. Okay, here we go. This is our NAC and SLC for the second floor. Pulled up through there. Pull string there. I don't have anything to cut it with right now. It's just wrapped around there, but yeah, that's fine for now. So that's the first big thing done. What I'm doing here is I'm running the SLC through the attic now, and I'm going to run it in a spot that is less than 1.5, or sorry, less than 1 meter high. That way I can strap it wherever. I'm still going to keep it up to the top, but that way it's I'm allowed to put it wherever, and it doesn't have to be protected from being walked on or anything. Because where I'm putting it up there is under a meter, I could actually lay it right down on top of the insulation like this other old Lumex is. However, even though it's legal, it still seems more protected to staple it up higher. I just forgot to record it, but I've stapled it up from where it comes up, over, and then we can staple it right there along the top of every one of those guys. So I'm just stapling it every other one. It only has to be supported every 1.5 meters. So by doing it 4 feet, that's not even much over a meter. So that is compliant. There you go, that's ran decently far at this point. I am marking out my detector locations now. This one is obviously the top of the stairwell detector. So you can see that is where we've got that marked right there in line with that light fixture. And then in the hallway, I've got this location marked here. It's centered between the lights and the same distance from the wall. This bedroom here, I have our location marked here. Ignore that one. It's that one. Again, I got two. It's this one. And then I think this office, we just have the one. Where is it? Oh, right there. So all of these boxes will be drilled with a 4 1/4 inch hole saw. That is the proper size for ceiling boxes to fit in. So 4 1/4 hole saw right here. We'll use this guy. And I will use the dust bowl. I'm just gonna go for a quick look up here, make sure there's nothing that I'm going to damage by drilling. But we have a can here and a can there. There is nothing laying flat in this ceiling here. There is nothing ran that we are going to hit. This ceiling here, well, we're going to assume and drill carefully because I don't feel like moving all this. I'm going to begin by drilling our hallway smoke detector location. Alright, we're partially on a joist, but that's not a problem actually at all. I'll tell you why. In fact, I actually got lucky here. Now you might be thinking, why would you be lucky here? Well, I can't actually really use one of these boxes to mount with these wings on it because the drywall is too thick. We got double drywall there, so the wings can't actually go in that far. So we'll have to mount a normal box, and because it's actually double, we won't need a pancake, but we'll have to just drill it onto the bottom. But it's actually way sturdier than using these. I just use these because, well, I'm lazy, and it's less effort than trying to trace exactly where it is and cut it out perfectly, which I don't want to do any fancy cutting with the oscillating tool and making a mess. It's just way cleaner and quicker, more efficient to just pop a hole wherever. The detector weighs nothing. If it's a fixture, sure, I'd put more effort into it, but it's a detector that can go anywhere. All right, let's drill our location in the office now. By the way, guys, for anyone worried about my health with this, no, my house does not contain asbestos. Okay, this bedroom now, my current bedroom. Looks like another pancake box for that one. Okay, we will now do one in the primary bedroom. Alrighty. Last but not least, the stairwell detector. Isn't that right, Ella? Isn't that right? Check out how mad this dog looks. You're a scary dog, Dan. Now I didn't drill this one all the way through, and that's on purpose. I just drilled the second layer of drywall because I need to mount the pancake to the first one. Because we have that double drywall situation and I can't put in a regular box unless I put a 2x4 across, I'm just going to mount onto that first layer of drywall, and that'll be my support. So I will install a pancake box up there. Okay, that now has that detector cut in. And yeah, that's most of the boxes cut in, except I need to see if I can cut something in here. So my plan is I think I'm still gonna have to put a pancake box there because a full 1.5-inch box is too deep. So have to use a pancake and just stand it out. Have to mount the monitor module for the attic devices. I'd like to put it right up on that wall. So I'm going to use a 1.5-inch spade bit and drill down and see if I have any space in this wall, because I probably have 2 2x4s there and 2 there, so I'm not sure if I will, but they might just go up to a header and not all the way up. Of course 8 inches over from this guy there ends me right in this, but oh well, we'll have to drill through it. Okay, so I want to mount my monitor module up there, pretty close to the ceiling, but before I go making big holes just to find out I don't have a spot there where I can put it, I will poke fish tape through and make sure we have clearance. Here I've ganged up 2 1104L boxes so we can see how wide this is going to take up here. Well, I've just double checked with the stud finder because I thought I could make it, and we're just hitting the edge of it, and we may be able to still do it. It may be tight, but I'm not sure. I know we will be able to fit a single gang box for a horn strobe though, so actually I'm first going to lay out our horn strobe, and since I know I'll be able to fit that, it'll give me a little bit more of a visual on just how much room we have. The code says for audible devices to be no less than 2,300 millimeters off the ground, or 2.3 meters, and no more or no less than 150 millimeters close to the ceiling. And then audibles, they want, visuals, they want no less than 2,000 millimeters and no more than 2,400 millimeters. It's kind of weird. It seems to be more strict on the visual though, as it refers to how high the lens can be, which they want 2,000 above the floor, and no more than 2,400 off the floor, versus audibles, they say if possible, if the building allows it. This building does not really allow for us to go quite as high as they want because we only have 8-foot ceilings, so we're going to go off the visuals since that's going to take higher priority. So they want it over 2,000. I went 2,006 millimeters, or 2,060 millimeters there. So that will be the bottom of our device, and then maybe then I'll have enough room to mount the control module, monitor module. We'll see. Okay, this is our horn strobe location marked out. All right, we're going to cut out our box here for our audible visual device. Okay, well this can be our location for our horn strobe, but this won't be for the double gang for the monitor module. It will not fit. There is not enough space in this wall here. This is our 3-conductor or our NAC circuit, so I will run this down this hole here, leaving it bent outward, so hopefully it'll come out of the wall. There, I think that's out of the wall. We'll finish stapling this up here. Heavy weight. well, that actually has our whole knack ran into place for now, unless it goes to any other places, like if I add bathroom strobes, but that's not the big concern right now. We're just trying to make a solid system that is something better than what's there right now. We're not trying to meet the brand new codes. This house is from 76, but yeah. All right, I know we kind of changed subjects here. Now we're working on notifications. I was intending to get the SLC done, but this is just kind of how the cookie crumbled here. Had a 2x4 running up that way, and it was kind of in my way. So just with that spade bit, that should be able to open it up enough. Yes, there we go. Now we will release our tab that hold the box in. Should go now. It's just that 2x4 back there, if you could see it, that's being the problem. Come on. Okay, that has our notification device box all wired in, all good. I'm going to put the box for the monitor module over top of this doorbell. I have a stud right here, so I might be able to even screw the box to the stud, and then I'll only need the Madison bar, or the F-clip, whatever you guys, where you refer to them as. F-clips, F-bars, Madison bars, whatever. I might only need it on one side if I could screw into this stud. Either way, my hole through the top plate needs to be 7 feet down from this box to get me in the correct stud spacing. I asked the boss person, that being my mom, that's really the only person that has any care in this, where she would want it most, and she said just put it with all the other crap like doorbell, thermostat, switches, which makes sense. Means I'll have to run wires a little bit further to these bedrooms out of it, unfortunately, but at the same time it gets me closer to the stairwell, so it is what it is. Okay, our 7 feet mark is right here, which this is where our doorbell wires are. Finally turned the fan off up here. It's probably about 25 degrees, so it's finally not terrible. So there's 7 feet. We should be able to make our hole right here. So because this 4x4 double gang will be my largest box, this is where I'll make up all my SLC splices. So I'm going to have to pull out that one staple I put in there and pull it back to that staple, head down here and go into there from there.
just like that.
Now, from experience, I kind of know what devices you need to and what ones you don't for this sort of stuff, but modules, I'm not actually sure. So I'm just going to be safe and do it, where I've already adjusted this box for it, where you can adjust your little ears sticking out back and forth. I put them all the way forward, so the box, these screws will sit somewhat back to make sure it holds everything real flush into the wall. Right here is our top of the stairwell box. As you can see, there's that zap strap I poked through. There's the stairwell. So I will need to run a 5 conductor from here back to where we've put that box for the monitor module in there. Going to roll off some of this 20 feet of 18.5 conductor here. That should be enough to get me from that stairwell spot. Remember, we have to be stapled every 1.5 meters. No one said you can't go more than that, though. Not hurt anything, go for it. Keep the seat on. Okay, right there, okay. Yeah, just have a light saying stairwell smoke. There we go, stairwell smoke, drop down the hole. Now I'm going to drill through a bunch of these and pop out our bedroom smoke. Bunch of Lumex here to be careful of. You got that one? Get over. Hold smoke. Nope, that's all good. Originally, I didn't want to make any splices in this pancake boxes, but I've changed my mind. I think 2 wire nuts won't kill it. I'm going to try and find the primary bedroom smoke box. I think it should be over here somewhere. That's probably the light box. hang on. Alrighty, that's good. I see it. Should have stapled this with the other ones while I was here, but I didn't. Alright, that's dropped in there. Now we will run to what is currently my bedroom. Use this longer piece here. Drop down enough. Okay, I'm gonna do the windows. My bedroom this time. This might be challenging though. There's a crap ton of insulation. Hang on. Might have to move some of these. Just push them over for now. Should grab my gloves actually. Sorry, I'm just fighting my way through all this insulation. Keep hitting it. Can you put it like really... Can you put it sideways at all? Okay. All right, beauty. No, I can't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It is so horrible up there. This is the one in my room here. Oh, cut you off. Okay, so I now got to go from my room here over to this office. It's the last part. We come from there. We come from SLC in here up to there, as well as SLC from here to this spot, then into this room, then into my room, and then it just needs to go into this office, and that should be SLC done. Except we still have to run the conventional zone side out from here to the two attic heat detectors, but that's less crawling around in insulation, so that's better, I guess. See, if this was wintertime, I could wear pants and a coat, and then the insulation wouldn't be so itchy. Crap, so I gotta get back in here. My favorite spot. Ready to swim with it. This is good. I'm running a 5 conductor anyways. It only needs to be, it's the end of the loop essentially, but screw it. Just run a 5. In case I ever wanted to add sound or bass or something, I could run external power to it, you know. Future-proofing it a little. Okay, 1 second. Just hold it there. I'm going to put another one down through into the hallway. I'm going to poke it down into the hallway just like the other ones. I need it to be labeled SLC in, please. Okay, now. What? SN. No. Oh. You got? No. You sure that? You can handle it. Yeah, here. Yeah. Okay, this is the whole SLC and everything up here stapled and put into the places it needs to end up. Now we need our zone coming out of this. I just put up this heat detector box here. This is sort of spaced accordingly. Remember, we can go 15 feet from it to the wall, and we're at around, I think, 12 or 14 from that one. So because hypothetically this attic could be 60 feet long for these to cover the whole thing, and we're at 40 something, they're going to be spaced a little bit closer together. But it is what it is. That's fine. It's better that way than the other way. Not super sturdy, but whatever. It's just a heat detector. So I don't actually have the other box right now, but I can at least run out from that box in the stairwell, or sorry, in the hallway there, out of that monitor module. So I can at least run it to here, and then I'll just finish it off running it back the other way. As long as I can tie everything into that box for now. So if that didn't become clear, the wire I am running now out of that same box in the hallway where the monitor module is going, this is not an SLC that I'm running out. This is going to be the zone side of the monitor module, the conventional side that will monitor the attic heat detectors, so just a 2-wire zone. Okay, heat detector is ran to this box. I don't have a service loop because it was so tight. And ran down, 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 down here, down here, down here, and into the box. Last thing I'm going to work on this night is get this guy in here so that I can take this ladder out of the stairwell. So I'm going to put in a box up here. So where we're at is our stairwell smoke detector box is in place. Here we need to put in our double gang, and we have to put our box in for our hallway smoke location. Let's get started here with this hallway smoke detector set. for anyone saying, why don't you enter it from the top? Well, I mean, I could, but then the Lumex kind of sticks out higher in the attic and it seems more vulnerable. Or not Lumex, fire alarm cable, you know what I mean. So sure, it might be easier to get it in the drywall, but I think once it's in the drywall, it's safer going in the side. Okay, that is the smoke detector box cut in this room. Corridor one, so I had to put some drywall behind there, but it's all good now. Primary bedroom. And my bedroom up there, all good. The stairs is currently just held into a piece of 1/2-inch drywall just with 2 screws, which I don't really like. So once I get the detector, once I go to put the detector up and have the ladder back, I'm going to still use those 2 screws, but I'm gonna put some zippets in first. And then the zippets are really strong, so that'll definitely hold it. I'm sure that'll hold it too, but I'd trust it a little more if it had a couple zippets in there. Now though, let's deal with this up here because this is not that aesthetically pleasing. I did this one here is I cut it in so the stud was right there, so I will be able to screw it solid into the stud on one side, and the other side probably honestly wouldn't need anything, but I can throw in an F-clip if I figure I do need it. Okay, so I've got 4 wires and 4 knockouts in the top, so I gotta take them all out. So with these boxes, if you're not familiar with them, you can just take the side off of it and gang them up. So you could put 10 of these together if you want. As you see right here, I have screwed 2 together. Make sure those are tight. Not gonna come apart. Okay, this is SLC in. I'll bring this in on the left. And then we'll bring our stairwell smoke in. Okay, and then this is our SLC going to our top of the stairwell smoke. And this is the conventional circuit from those attic detectors. Okay, we'll do one F-clip to hold it flush on the other side. All right, that is solid. Now I'm going to work on getting all these splices all done up in this box here, where our SLC comes into it and then spreads out for upstairs, and as well as where that monitor module will need to go. So this is our SLC in. Now we only need the black and the red. We need the blue and brown will be spares. So I will tuck them towards the back as a spare. So that's all we need from the SLC in. Now SLC in is first going to go to stairwell smoke. Now we are not T-tapping this, even though it's addressable and it's still supervised. I'm not going to T-tap because that makes for worse install, and troubleshooting in the future is more difficult on a T-tapped system. So SLC in is going to first splice up to the incoming side of the stairwell smoke. So it will then go through that stairwell smoke and return on the blue and brown from the stairwell smoke. This is a return from the stairwell smoke, which the return of the stairwell smoke is going to splice onto the module, and then on the other side of the module it's going to be connected to this, which is our SLC out. Now we won't be using the return again on the other side of the SLC, so again we can keep this as a spare and push it back. And this is the conventional side of the attic heats. So this can tuck back there. Okay, so this is our SLC that will tie onto the monitor module, and this is our zone that will go to the attic heats. Okay, that has this box all made up. Let's go work on our smoke detector location. What I did here with the smoke detectors is I ran a 5 conductor to everything because I thought I was going to run everything from this central point, go out to the detector, back, and then out, back to maintain that loop. But as what ended up happening is I went out from there, this detector to that one to that one, that one to that one. Just one big loop. I didn't go back. So I really only needed to run a 3 conductor to everything. However, I have a 5 conductor. So is what I'm going to do with that 5 conductor is I'm going to splice. I'm just going to use the black and red for SLC, and then the blue and brown will still be available at that box. It's like a whole another circuit around each one which is actually a good thing because if I ever wanted to add sounder bases, that is quite easily to be done, being we already have something that could be turned into external power. Okay, let's get to work in this box right here. Okay, I'll start by doing our ground here. Okay, that's all our grounds together. And now the black and red won't get spliced because that's going to be our SOC in and out, which will both go into the detector terminals, but then the blue and brown is our extra. So I could splice them together, though that takes up more room in these already tight pancake boxes, so I'm just going to wrap them around each other a little bit and tuck them up here. Okay, this is now the detector in my room. Okay, that one's all done. Now the last one will be the one in the office. Okay, this one we've only got one wire coming into it, so we don't have to splice the ground. You just go right to the... Alright, there you have it. That's the last one up here. I mean, I haven't stripped out the one over the stairs, but I put the ladder away, and that one I can get during the device install. That's fine. We'll get this box prepared for the audible visual. Okay, yay, we're back up here. I love being in this 30-degree attic. Actually, it might be around 28. No, it's around 30. It's pretty hot. We are going to be finishing off with that heat detector in here where we left off. So I added the one box down there, and now we are going to add another one. I actually don't really like where that one is placed. I would actually prefer for it to be down a little farther, as it's 12 feet off that back wall. And if I put another one at 12 feet off that wall, and I guess they're still spaced out okay. It's still completely legal, it's just not spaced out as I would like it. They can be up to 15 feet off the wall, and I'm going to be at 12 feet. But then in between them, we're going to be a lot under that 30 foot that they could be as far as being apart. I would move that one further down, but I've already pulled all this wire, and I'd have to pull it all back out and splice everything all back together down there, which, I mean, I'd have to take that box all the way back out. So since it's legal, I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to add this box in down here and run this 4 conductor. We're only going to be using 3 of those 4 conductors from that box down to here, and this will be a conventional zone. By the way, guys, I know I will be asked about this. Yes, I'm aware this insulation situation up here isn't great. Someday, maybe in the winter time, when I can put on a whole suit and gloves and and mask. I will move this insulation around. As you see, there's some spots like right there, right here. Over there looks pretty good. There's a lot piled up in that corner. We seem to have extra right here. And then the rest of the house is fairly average. And then what the hell? All of a sudden there's a super ton amount right there. So I think I will spread that around at some point and add some more where it's needed. I really like the idea of having these attic heat detectors. This is probably actually one of my most, makes me feel the most confident in having this system. Like, sure, the smoke detectors in the bedrooms are nice, but I don't know, something about having detection in the attic, or maybe something about not having detection in the attic before. I don't like the idea of it. Obviously, smoke detection would be ideal, but, and just like everything else, it only has to be strapped or supported every 1.5 meters. Therefore, we don't quite have to put a staple on every one of these trusses. Every other one, and that's only just over a meter. So that last detector box was set at 12 feet back. So basically 6 of these trusses back, as they are spaced 2 feet apart. So to mimic that, it's pretty simple. We just have to count them. That first one at the end that's just off the wall, I'm not going to count that. I'll start there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be 6. That puts us at 12 feet. This one sucks because we have this thing here. So we'll put her on this one right here. And it'll be more like maybe 10 feet. But that's fine because we are still well within 30 feet from where I am here to that box. So we're still fully legal. These are actually the only 2 plastic PVC boxes I've used on this project, because it's kind of like a new install. I'm not cutting it into a wall. By the way, guys, this fire alarm cable, I don't know if I've mentioned this whole project, it is different than just normal Lumex. I don't think I'm actually required to pull this proper fire alarm cable on a residential wood frame building like this. However, it is definitely slightly better than Lumex. Not only is red, so I mean that's cool. There is red Lumex that we use for heating, but difference from this stuff is its insulation. Lumex is rated at 90 degrees Celsius insulation, and this fire alarm stuff is rated 105 degrees, so it is definitely can handle a little bit more heat than your standard Lumex. Can't really get those staples in at a perfect angle for this, but that is what it is. Still supported just fine. He is warm up here, holy crap. Alright, let's make up this box and get it prepared. Then the other one, let's get the hell out of here. This sucks. Okay, our box is bonded, so we've essentially bonded just a metal strap in a box that will go to our plastic mounting heat detectors, so we've effectively done nothing. But fire alarm is supposed to be bonded. When you do have fire alarm verification, you do actually have to test it for ground fault at each location from each device. We're not going to use this blue. here so that we can tuck that up, and we'll use this black and red. That'll be the end of this heat detector zone. Okay, that has these detectors all done up. Oh, I'm happy about this. I only have to come back into this attic one more time. I'm glad all of this wire is pulled, and all I've got to do is put those heat detectors up. And then other than testing, which I usually do at the start of the year in the winter time anyways, where this will be probably, I'll be complaining for the opposite temperature reasons in here, because right now this is hot. My legs feel so good. I can feel the air conditioning blowing past my legs here. Hell yeah. Alrighty guys, well, that has the second floor all done. If you guys have seen the last video, you would have seen part one of the rough-in, which was the first floor, which was definitely harder. The second floor is hotter, but the first floor is way harder since we had to fish everything in. A little recap, here's the first floor. You guys saw the annunciator and front door pull station, and these guys fished in one in this room. Detector spot here, and then the garage, of course, for detector and this conduit work that had to be done. I would love to get something at this back door, though that would be challenging. I would like to get a pull station there. I could probably go from here and somehow make my way and get down, but that's a problem for the future. This bedroom also has one added, and this is where all this cable is that I forgot about. And I remember I was saying I don't know if this will be enough, all this extra wire I've got, all these little pieces and stuff. And well, the system's all wired, so yeah, this definitely was enough, which is awesome. There is still a little bit of work in here though. So before I end this video, let's take another look in the furnace room. Put this stupid motion sensor light in. It doesn't freaking work. You have to manually turn it on. If you see it's bent into the wall, that's because I punched it. I've had some rages at this thing. There's been some pretty angry moments during this project, I gotta admit, between wire fishing, getting my $60 bit stuck in the wall, which, by the way, it's still up there. Yeah, it'll be there for the rest of the house, so I just threw $60 in the wall for no reason. But, you know, it is what it is. That's what we're gonna tell ourselves. So here we've got downstairs NAC circuit, downstairs SLC, our annunciator, then this guy here that is tied to this condensate, which we can take off before somehow somebody gets themselves caught on it and rips the condensate drain out. This is our upstairs NAC, and this is our upstairs SLC loop, which is also doing some conventional stuff, obviously. So this is our four things: 2 NACs, 2 SLCs. Now the NACs will each go to their own NAC. That way, if one shorts out or fails, it doesn't take out the whole system. And then same with SLC, but obviously there's only one SLC connection on a 320. So we will just use isolators, which will mount above the panel to isolate upstairs and then isolate basement going out. So these SLCs won't actually tie. Well, one that I have here is actually a NAC. That feels like an SLC. SLC is more flexible, smaller cable. I'd say these two are them. So yeah. these two SLCs won't actually go directly into the panel. Only these two NACs will go in, and these will go to their own respective isolators. And yeah, so this isn't it for the rough-in, because we still have to mount the panel and mount the isolator boxes. And also, I'm not going to use one of those new Bluetooth powered panels. Just kidding, that's not a thing. The panel needs 120 volts, so we will have to bring some Lumex down there, fish behind that wall where all this other stuff, where all these other wires go, which is obviously possible. And then we will enter that into our main 200 amp. We'll enter that into our main 200 amp panel, throw in a 15 amp fire alarm breaker. Actually, I think we're supposed to put it on a 20. We'll put it on 15, I don't care. And put a fire alarm lock on it. Actually, I'm not sure if we're supposed to put them on 20s in Canada. That might be a US thing. I think it might be a US thing, because I've seen plenty of panels, new, installed, old, you name it, with just a 15 amp breaker. So I think that's a US thing with the 20 amp thing. Anyways, that'll be next rough-in. Hopefully we'll have the can of the panel to mount on here, as well as isolators, and then run our power to the panel. This is our pull string that I pulled down, so we have this as an extra. We also have multiple pull strings over there as extra, and then throughout the basement there's pull strings left everywhere, which is nice. So if I ever pull anything in the future, I can pull whatever that wire is that I need, as well as a new pull string with it, so we always will have a pull string. Alrighty guys, well, that is going to do it for this second part of the fire alarm rough-in. I know I could probably add the other stuff, but it's probably still yet another 30-40 minute video just doing this, which is a smaller project. It's not going to be as extensive as this video and the last fire alarm rough-in one, though I know this video, I can tell, I haven't edited it yet, but I can tell this one's probably we're probably over an hour at this point. I wouldn't doubt it. So another 40 minutes would be pretty long. Anyways, I'm making it long by continuing to talking. Let me get to what I want to say. I want to say, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give a thumbs up. If you do have any comments or questions, feel free to put those down in the comment section below. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you do enjoy my channel, make sure to subscribe. Also guys, I do have an Instagram account at Pickle700 for bonus content and content posted earlier than you'd see it on the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Alrighty guys, that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching.